Hello there, my name is Chad Gabon, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the recent works of a gentleman named Guevara Noubir. Before we get into it, I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm an electrical engineering student at Wayne State University. With some of my study at Wayne State, I have learned some coding and computer science technology information, so I do have a decent understanding of how smartphone technology works, and that's exactly what Guevara Noubir is studying here. We're going to talk today about how Noubir exposed several flaws with keeping our personal data safe with smartphones. We're going to see how Noubir was able to accomplish this and what exactly he did expose, and ultimately what it means for us, the smartphone user. What Noubir likes to do when he exposes flaws with smartphones is he looks for vulnerable places in the code and applications. He makes a point that developers tend to ignore these locations and these hacks that just seem impossible, as if someone would have to take thousands and thousands of hours writing algorithms to crack this sort of code. Smartphones are perfect for this sort of stuff. They're perfect for tracking all sorts of data. They're loaded with sensors, and that allows a lot of backdoor coding and loopholes that developers can use to get around and obtain personal information about the users. The first thing that Noubir did successfully is he wrote an application that was able to track a person's route throughout a city with the location services off. So that means no GPS, none of that to actually see where the person was at. He did this by simply having access to the phone's accelerometer, compass, and the gyroscope. How this works is the accelerometer was able to tell whether a person was moving forward or not, if they were stopped or moving. The compass was able to tell which direction the person was going, and the gyroscope could track the degree of turns and bumps in the road and all sorts of stuff like that. So ultimately, he could say, this person stopped, drove for 5 feet, stopped at a stop sign for 10 seconds, made a 95-degree right turn to head southeast, hit a few bumps in the road for 20 seconds, and so on. What he did with this information was compared it to a digital map of the city and could actually tell what route these people were going, to the store or to work or whatnot, which is pretty remarkable. And he did this all without the consent of the user. The applications don't ask whether they could use your accelerometer information or your compass. Another thing Noubir did, which I think is even more impressive than the traffic, is he actually designed an application that could tell what a person was typing on their smartphone. And this application could tell what they were typing on the phone with up to 90% accuracy. What he did with this is he, again, used the phone's gyroscope and the phone's several microphones that are located. The gyroscope could tell whether the phone was tilting left or right, which Noubir found out if you're typing on the screen further left, you're going to tilt the screen further left. If you're typing further right, you're going to tilt it further right. So that gave him, he could see where the fingers were pressing left and right. The hardest part was determining how high up on the screen you were typing. He did this by using the top and bottom microphones. He realized if you press directly in the center of the screen, sound waves would hit the microphones at the exact same time. If you pressed a little higher, it's going to hit the top microphone first and then the bottom one. And essentially by writing a complex algorithm, he was able to take this and combine with the gyroscope and figure out exactly what words someone was typing, which could lead to an application seeing what your passwords are for your bank and all sorts of stuff like this, without your consent, which is the scariest part about this. So again, Noubir was able to go through and essentially behind the back of the users of the smartphone determine the location that they were traveling, where they were going, what routes they were taking. He was also able to monitor what the smartphone users were typing, which could lead to passwords being exposed and all sorts of useful information. Conversations and so on. He is really working to expose all of these loopholes and flaws before malicious companies do. And this is his ultimate goal, is to get to all the flaws first, and before all the bad guys do, essentially. We need to protect our information, and it's very important. The work that Noubir is doing is definitely driving us forward within this field. And that's all I have today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.